Ronald Reagan once said, "East and West do not mistrust each other because they are armed. We are armed because we mistrust each other." My name is Tamara Catlett, and today I would like to evaluate a speech given by former President Ronald Reagan at the Brandenburg Gate in West Germany on June 12, 1987. I was a teenager during his presidency in the Cold War, and as we kept up with current events, we felt that Russia was a bit trigger-happy and that anything could cause them to launch a nuclear weapon at the United States. This speech is relevant to me because I wanted to showcase the difference between a presidential speech and a motivational speaker. Although they have the similar characteristics, some of the guidelines that we learned in class may not be shown in a presidential speech. According to 20th century history expert Jennifer Rosenberg, the Berlin Wall was both the physical division of West Berlin and East Germany from 1961 to 1989. It was also a symbolic boundary between democracy and communism during the Cold War. The historical relevance of his speech was a turning point of relations between Russia and the U.S. President Reagan spoke in June of 1987, and the wall was finally taken down in November of 1989, just as he was finishing his second term as president. According to author Stephen Lucas, presenting a speech should include good posture and a relaxed position. You should stand and review the audience while smiling. The hand gestures show that you are relaxed and it becomes more like a casual conversation. Try to maintain eye contact with the audience so you can see how they're reacting to your speech and if you have to make changes. Project your voice confidently so the people in the back can hear you just as good as the people in the front. Finally, controlling your nerves. Nerves can calm the more you speak and the more you see that your audience is reacting more on a positive note. Based on these guidelines, President Ronald Reagan did not use hand gestures, for he was at a podium and relying on notes for his speech. He focused on the audience's reaction and paused as they cheered so that they would not miss anything. He was very confident when they cheered and looked up longer. He smiled warmly and confidently through the 30-minute speech. I do not believe the president's nerves were an issue for him. Having been an actor for most of his life, he seemed very comfortable at the podium. He acknowledges the audience reactions and would look up when he was confident in the statements he was making. As the cameras panned across the audience, you noticed a mixture of generations, older and younger, although it seemed that the younger generation was the majority. A new generation that obviously had different thoughts from the generation that erected the wall in 1961. President Reagan's speech had a historical effect on me. For the first time in history, it showed that some leaders were willing to talk to other countries, not only talk, but willing to listen. In the future, I may be asked to present a speech at work for training or financial report. I see myself in a position with a podium than on a stage with a full audience. The comfort and confidence that he showed is something that I really want to work on. I think his confidence showed more of his credibility, and a person's credibility that can give the audience a sense that they trust the speaker's words. In conclusion, President Reagan was the most humanistic president of the 20th century. It was like a normal person in that position. He was very down to earth and used humor a lot. He showed people that he was not only willing to talk, but willing to listen. President Reagan once said, "We are a nation of freedom, living under God, believing all citizens must have the opportunity to grow, create wealth, and build a better life for those who follow." With that being said, I'd like to complete my evaluation by saying I would like to be a citizen that has the opportunity to grow, create wealth, and build a better life for those that follow. Thank you.